G'day everyone, Adam here. Welcome back to another Spurs Disco Bogan. We are back on the EV Falcon today. Need to get some stuff done. Alright, so there are some things that I have discovered. A little bit of investigation work, I suppose you could say. Alright, so when I took the subframe off, after I cleaned it, I noticed some things. And I'd already noticed stuff on the Falcon already anyway. Like, so yeah, as an example, there's some weld marks in here, weld lines. Done from the other side, but they're not meant to be there at all. So yeah, headlights, suspension, they all had record numbers on them, like record code numbers and stuff like that. So the front end, I mean, considering that bonnet is an EA bonnet on an EV, that was my first giveaway. So as I said, yeah, quite a few parts had part numbers, so record numbers. So yeah, that's fun with that. Now I'm going to show you the subframe. Okay, so we are back in the marquee again. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff in here. Right, so the subframe, interesting. So yeah, so we've got to get all this pulled off, so then I can start working on the subframe and getting it back up to spec, up to where it should be. So what I discovered, right, so as I was cleaning it, I noticed that this bar has been taken out and put back in. I've done some measurements after I did some measurements, so everything seems to be where it's meant to be, but the weld quality is shocking. So as I said, when it was dirty, this was all covered. You couldn't see any of this. So you'll notice there's even welding wire still left on there. That's shocking, especially that they blew a hole in it. So I've got to re-weld all this stuff, got to fix it all up. Obviously when I've done it, it's just going to look like it was never there. This one I find very interesting. So as you can see, the crack line on the top matches the weld on the front and the back of it. Alright, so if you notice though, the weld is next to the crack. Like, they started it there, but oops, sorry, they started it here and then there's gone askew, gone that way. So yeah. So I'll be welding all these four sides for each side, and yeah, that'll be done properly. So I've got a technique to do it so that nothing moves, but yeah, so it's a process, because if you just take that off and then put it back in, measurements may start to shift, things move, so you're better off just doing it one line at a time. Weld it, clean it, go to the other side, repeat the process until it's all completely sealed up and done. Fun times ahead, peeps. Right, so yeah, we've got to get all this stuff off, so then we can get on to doing the subframe. Joy times ahead. Also got bike stuff that I want to get painted up as well, so I need to get that finished. So yeah, right peeps, let's crack on. Alrighty, so I've got my sockets and spanners set out. We're going to first get off the radius arms, get them out of the way, and then we'll move on to getting the engine mounts off, and then we'll get the steering rack off as well. So there's not too much that I have to undo. Is that one, that bolt, that one, and that one. So that's all I have to get off. So I'm going to see what I can do with this subframe. I don't know if I'm going to have to get another subframe or not, but it's definitely going to need some work. I'm a bit worried about here. It's raised up a bit, so I might have to put heat on there, flatten it back out again, and probably even have to chuck some shims in as well. But yeah, so this is all, when the steering rack's off, everything's pulled apart. I'm going to be putting in new arms and new tie rods. So a little thing to remember is take a measurement of where everything is and match it up with the new one going in. So yeah, I'll probably put the tie rod on the end and then get it set, get that started screwing that in, get it all measured out, good to go, put new boot on, all that jazz. Alrighty, so we have everything pulled apart now. So there's the engine mounts, those are going to get changed over, put onto the bracket, the new ones. We've also got the radius arms out. These have got to be cleaned up and everything like that and get ready to be repainted. And we've got the subframe to fix. Obviously we've still got to get the bushings out of the front. I've got new bushings to go in there as well. So yeah, just got to get those out. Then I've got to prep the subframe and then start doing the repairs. So here's another good reason why you take everything apart. So that was all corroded and stuff like that. As you can see, the bolt, she's a bit, yeah, got to get it all cleaned up. I was meant to get cleaning vinegar, but I completely forgot. So I'll have to get that tomorrow and then chuck all my bolts and everything like that into them. That way it gets all the rust out, and it's pretty good for fixing stuff up. So for the moment though, I'm just going to WD-40 stuff, because I'll be getting onto this now in the afternoon, pretty late in the afternoon for me, and I've got other stuff I've got to do. So rightio. So yeah, we'll get them inside, the engine mounts inside, because well, I might just do them out here actually, but yeah, I've got to separate them, get it ready for paint as well. Yay! And then we've got to pull this system apart. So I need to get the lines off, power steering pump off, all that type of stuff, because this is all going to get repainted as well. So I'll probably put the lines back in. I'm going to clean them up first before I do that, but I'll put them back in, then I'm going to tape them up, and that way I can just paint this on its own. And yeah, all that's going to be brand new anyway. So's the power steering pump, that's not going back in the car, so I'm not worried about what happens with that. So yeah, we'll keep on cracking, eh? Rightio. So I have been hitting it with the wire brush, well, you know, the wire wheel on the drill, just to go over bits. So I'm just going to continue on with that, and put some primer down over it just to stop it rusting off. It's all going to be coming off again because it's only primer servicer. I need to use edge primer, but at least it'll give me some time for me to get stuff next week. But yeah, so we'll get all of it cleaned up, so you know, similar like that. And yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so this is where we've gotten up to so far. The battery has gone flat on my drill, so yeah, I'm still umming and ahhing about whether or not I'm going to use this subframe, just because of that bolt hole mount part, and you know, the welds on there are pretty bad. But yeah, so there's a couple of other spots I've seen where I'd like to put some welds into, and I'm not too sure, but I think they might have done some other repairs in other spots. But yeah, so we'll see how we go. Otherwise, I'm still charging on ahead with this subframe. I mean, it fitted to the car, and yeah, so when I do the main build for the car, you know, that's not going to be in there anyway. I'm going to have to change the subframe or get a custom one made, either way. But yeah, alright, let's crack on. Alright, so I'm actually quite pleased with how this is coming out. So what I'm thinking of doing is just cleaning the rest of it up by hand, because I don't want to wreck all the rubbers and everything. I mean, obviously these boots I don't care about, but that I do. Yeah, so once everything's all separated, I'll finish this off by hand. And like, I'm actually thinking I'm just going to paint here, you know, just so that it sort of matches in. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how it is. I'm going to finish this off by hand so I can get all the areas that the wire brush couldn't get into. But yeah, I'm not even going to worry about painting it. So once I've actually put this all, you know, like put all the new bits in and all that kind of stuff, and put the new lines on there, oh, you know, put the lines back on there, it's just waiting for that. Once that's done, then this can be reinstalled onto the subframe. So yeah, quite chuffed with that. So yeah, alright, let's keep on cracking, peeps. Oh yeah, also I'm going to be obviously putting the grinder onto these, but these are going to be my test pieces for the welder, just to see, you know, how well it goes, and then we'll get on to prepping that and getting it welded up. Alright, so I've just got to get them wiped down, but there's my test pieces. You want to make sure that you get all impurities out of the way, so you've got nothing but the metal that's left. So we're going to do a butt weld. I just want to see how well it goes through. This is about 3 millimeters of steel. I'm pretty sure these are, well, it's an RHS bar, roll hardened steel in a square. Now these are generally about 3 mil thickness as well, about the same thickness as this. So we'll see how we go. So I just want to get this prepped first and sort of get it ready to go. Gonna have to get my horses. Going to put a tack in. Well, actually, yeah, I'll do a tack to see how a tack goes, and then I'll do a line and see how that goes. Alright, let's crack on. So this is my temporary welding jacket until it's a jumper one, but yeah, until I can get a shirt that I can weld in. Alright, see how this welder goes. Alright, so I need to work out this mask. So, doing it right next to the bloody line. So I've never used one of these masks before. See how this thing goes. Can't really complain about it. It's alright weld. Yeah. Other than the spatter and all that kind of stuff, this is doing alright. Yeah. So I probably wouldn't go up too high with the different, you know, too high in thickness. But otherwise, that's bloody good. I am really surprised. So the one I used at Mark's was not as good as this one. So shut this down. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah. So those have come up pretty clean. I'll show you on the trailer, because that was Mark's gasless MIG. I'm going to be able to do quite a bit with this. Alright. So it's a bit hard to tell, but you look at some of the welds, they're untidy. Like, they got good penetration and everything, but they were just very untidy. Like, just not clean. So I'm going to enjoy using this. So, alright, I'm going to move on with getting these top sections done, get them welded in. Rightio, I'm actually quite, oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with this welder. Yeah, it's done really well. There's not a lot in the way of spatter, but you know, you can just get off with a wire brush. So that there is before I had the mask set up properly. And then yeah, you can see that's my tack. But yeah, and then yeah, you see those, not too bad. Someone who hasn't done this in a little while, you know. Yeah, and working out the quirks for a welder I've never used before, considering it's brand new. So yeah, not too shabby. I'm quite impressed. So, I mean, look, that's a nice weld. No one can disagree. That's a nice weld. Wait till you guys see when I am like really used to this welder. Then you guys are going to see what kind of welds I can actually put out. Because the ones on the trailer really don't, you know, it really doesn't show what I'm able to do. Alright, so I'm going to grind these down and just to make sure everything's all nice and clean and all flat, smooth. So yeah, let's keep on cracking, peeps. Alright, can't deny, looks pretty dang good. No holes, no nothing. Awesome! So yeah, so I'm going to grind down all the others. What I wanted to do first was to get these welds done, so that way that it holds, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to be moving on to the opposite side, and then check the welds on that side and see how they are, if they need to be redone or anything like that. Alright, let's crack on. So hopefully you guys can sort of see it, but you can see what I was worried about by going by those other two welds. Oops, you can see the crack line. Alright, so they haven't probably gotten rid of all the impurities and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I'm gonna do a weld over there and a weld, oops, on that side as well. Alright. And so get these sections done and then move on to getting the front and back section done as well. Alright, let's crack on. Alrighty, so we've got this all cleaned up. I think it looks pretty good. Done an extra weld here because there was a crack, and also up in there looked like some hairline cracks. So I thought, you know, better off to get those out of the way. And yeah, this has come up pretty good. So I'm just going to put some primer over it, over all the areas that are exposed for the moment, because I've got to wait till I get a couple of other products, like a rust convert, for example, to get into areas that, you know, I'd say a bit harder to get to. And yeah, so but it is getting there. This is so close now to getting sanded, painted, and stuff put back on, and yeah, reinstalled into the car. I still got to get the radius arm bushings out. Once I got those out, I can put the new ones in, obviously after I've painted everything. Yeah, oh, what a mess, eh? And I'm really stoked with that. As I said before, you know, I'm probably not going to paint this now. I'm just going to leave that as is. I'm going to be painting that part there, obviously. But yeah, so probably get on to getting this stripped down soon, probably in the next video. Yeah, so I'm probably going to be finishing this one up here. I'll do a few more things first, but we're close to finishing up for this video. Alright, so let's keep on cracking, peeps. I'm pretty sure I've said it already, but yeah, this is just to protect it. All this primer will be coming back off again. Rightio, so I went to edit the video and realised I forgot to do this bit. So as you guys can see, it's all looking good, all smoothed out. Welds came out really well, as you guys would have seen. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked with the welder. Everything came up pretty damn good. So yeah, the next phase for this, obviously, this is just, as I said, normal primer, so I had to put etch primer down. So I've got to sand all this back, but it's not a big deal. I just didn't want it to rust any further. I wanted to make sure that it was protected before I was able to get more primer and stuff. So yeah, you can see everything's sort of coming back into action now. And since we have a fuel crisis, well, it gives me more time to get on to doing this bloody stuff. So yeah, I was really happy with that. Pretty stoked with this. These lines look awesome. Like, they came up really nice. So I'm probably, as I said, I'm not going to paint this. I'll paint the, I can't think what that's called, but I'll paint that. Probably paint it black just to give it a nice sort of contrast with stuff. So I probably will give it a bit more work to make it come out a bit more silver, just to clean it up more. Obviously, as I said, the pump's getting completely replaced. The ends are getting replaced. So that's going to be in the next video too for doing that, because I have all the pieces here. So these are the rack ends, tie rods, and I've also got boots. There's the brakes too. As I said, things are coming along. We're getting stuff done. So I need to get the brakes done on the bike as well as the ignition. I want to paint that, and wherever I've done with the fuel filler flap, it's got to be painted too, just to get it all fresh. So yeah, coming up trumps. So you're going to finish this one up here, peeps. Yeah, so I'm also a bit burnt because I had an event today. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I hope you guys are enjoying everything that I do. If you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also give like, subscribe, share, like jazz. Throw some comments down. Tell me what you guys think of how everything's going. Tell me what you think of the welder. So also Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, give them a follow. And yeah, so I've done some events. So after this video, there will be an event video, and then I won't get onto the bike stuff as well. But yeah. Anyway, guys, catch you in the next one. Cheers.